But what people don't know a lot about is that Wall Street has its very own ghost. Welcome to Tales from the Attic. This is the place where we tell you stories that could be really tall tales or actual fact. Now, it's up to you to figure out which one is which. It's up to you to believe or not believe. We're just here to tell you the stories that we find. Today, we're going to be talking about two different stories. One of them actually has connections to a major Hollywood movie, and the second one has actual connections to history and things that happened in history with famous place in New York. So let's get into the stories. Our first story is about a university. This is none other than Fordham University. So, story goes that an RA or a resident assistant in one of the dormitories was in the dormitory by themselves, nobody else there, and there was not supposed to be anybody else there. And the RA was doing their work, doing, what they needed to do, and all of a sudden they heard a sound. So they go to check out the sound, walk down the corridor, and turn the corner. As they turn the corner, right there on the other side, all the mattresses in the dormitory are standing upended by themselves like they're suspended in midair. The RN absolutely freaks out, runs back into their room, shuts the door, and calls the nun on duty. And of course, being a Jesuit school, what they do is that, he asks for a priest to come in and, help clear out the supernatural presence. The nun tells him, yeah, sure, we'll send somebody over, no problem. Take it easy, keep the door closed, and stay in your room, which is exactly what he does. At 2 a.m., somebody bangs on his door, and when that bang on the door happens, he opens the door, and outside is a Jesuit priest. And the priest tells him, don't worry about anything. We've taken care of it all. We've sent away the evil spirits. You're nice and safe. He closes the door, and quite happily, all's good, goes back to bed, wakes up the next morning and goes out, meets with the nun, the head nun, and, thanks her. Thank you so much for sending the priest over yesterday. The nun goes, I'm so sorry, because she's thinking that the RA is being sarcastic. And she says, I'm so very sorry. I was, it slipped my mind. I couldn't get anyone to come out to your dormitory. I will send someone right now to your dormitory. So who was the person that came to his room at 2 a.m.? Nobody knows. Now, what's also interesting about the Fordham University is that one of the most cursed movies of all time was filmed at this school. We're talking about none other than The Exorcist. And a lot of scenes in the movie were filmed in this school. Now, that has led to speculation about whether, having that movie filmed there raised a demon that ended up living in the school, or is it just part of the folklore that surrounds the movie because it was filmed in the school? So which one had more of an impact? I guess we'll never know. But that brings us to our next story. This one happens in Wall Street. Now, Wall Street is a very famous place. It is the seat of, you could say, the world's financial power, right? Because everybody knows that everything that goes down in the financial markets happens on Wall Street. But what people don't know a lot about is that Wall Street has its very own ghost. That's right. She's called the Weeping Woman of the Financial District. Now, she's seen mostly around the Wall Street area and around the area where Trinity Church is. Now, Trinity Church is a very old church that has its own little graveyard. And if you've ever walked past Trinity Church, it does have a little bit of a weird feeling. But this ghost is supposed to be in that area. And people who've seen her have claimed that she has a cry, she has a wail that is just so unsettling. And she is weeping when you see her weeping, it's gut wrenching. It is also said that the appearance of this ghost looks like a Lenape woman. Now, the Lenape were the original people who lived in Manhattan. They were the original people who lived in this area, and they had settlements all around here. They were driven out by the Dutch, and then this place was colonized and settled by them. The Lenape woman is said to be crying for the loss of her land, the loss of her people, and the people who were killed on this land. It is also said that when she's seen, she cries and walks towards the water. Now, a lot of people have said that together with seeing her crying and walking towards the water, the other thing is an overwhelming feeling of loss and absolute sadness. All of this is apparently instantly lost the moment she disappears. So, is she true? Does Wall Street have its own ghost? You need to go there and check it out to find out. For Tales from the Attic, I'm Michael. Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed the stories, please smash that like button. Absolutely subscribe to us and leave a note. Tell us if there's a story that you want us to check out and put up here. We're more than happy to do that. All right, until we catch you again, take care. Bye-bye.